The champagne glass shattered before Harper even registered the sting across her face. 500 guests, crystal chandeliers, designer gowns, a charity gala where San Francisco's elite gathered to celebrate their generosity. And in the center of it all, a millionaire's hand connecting with his pregnant wife's cheek. The silence that followed was deafening. But what those 500 witnesses didn't know was this: Harper Whitmore wasn't just any pregnant wife. She was the daughter of Graham Whitmore, CEO of a Fortune 500 company, a man with the resources to move mountains or destroy empires. And he had exactly 48 hours to do it. What happened next became the story everyone was talking about, a story of abuse hidden behind wealth, of fraud masked as success, of one woman's choice to fight back, and of a father who proved that some lines once crossed can never be uncrossed. This is the story of how a single slap at a charity gala led to the complete destruction of a man's life, how 48 hours changed everything, and how a mother-to-be learned that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will shock you, inspire you, and maybe, just maybe, save someone's life. The champagne glass shattered before Harper even registered the sting across her face. Crystal chandeliers blazed overhead. 500 guests filled the Rosewood Grand Ballroom. Designer gowns swirled across marble floors. The orchestra had just finished a waltz. Harper Whitmore stood near the silent auction table, one hand resting on her belly, 6 months pregnant and glowing in emerald silk. She had been laughing, genuinely laughing, for the first time in weeks. The director of the children's hospital was telling her about the new pediatric wing their foundation would fund. Harper felt the baby kick, strong and reassuring. Everything seemed perfect. Then Derek appeared at her elbow. She smelled the vodka before she saw his face, sharp, bitter. He'd been drinking heavily since they arrived. His jaw was tight, that muscle jumping near his ear. Harper knew that sign. She had learned to read every micro-expression over 3 years of marriage. "We need to talk," Derek said. His voice was low but harsh. "Derek, not now." "We're at the gala." Harper kept her smile fixed. Her father was across the room. Graham Whitmore, CEO of Wismore Industries, stood with the mayor and 3 board members. She did not want to cause a scene. "Your mother made another comment about the nursery," Harper continued, trying to keep her tone light. "She thinks lavender is too feminine if the baby's a boy. I told her we're not finding out the gender, but she kept pushing. And I just thought maybe you could talk to her because..." His hand connected with her cheek. The sound echoed, sharp, final, absolute. Time crystallized. Harper felt the heat bloom across her skin. Her diamond earring came loose. She heard it hit the marble floor, a tiny ping that seemed impossibly loud in the sudden silence. 500 pairs of eyes turned toward them. Harper's hand flew to her belly, protective, automatic, the way every mother's hand does when danger comes close. The baby kicked against her palm as if asking, "What happened?" Derek's face cycled through expressions, shock first, like he could not believe his own hand had moved. Then defiance, his chin lifting, then rage. Pure and undisguised, as if she had somehow forced him to do this. "You embarrassed me," Derek hissed. "In front of my business partners. Talking about my mother like that. Making me look weak." Harper could not speak. Her throat had closed. She tasted copper. Her lip was bleeding. Across the ballroom, Graham Whitmore's champagne flute stopped halfway to his lips. Harper watched her father's face transform. The powerful CEO, the man who commanded boardrooms and built empires, looked suddenly old and dangerous. He moved through the crowd like a glacier, slow, inevitable, crushing. Eleanor Whitmore, Harper's mother, stood beside the dessert table. Her hand flew to her throat. Her perfectly applied lipstick could not hide the way her mouth opened in horror. Bryn Calwell was already pushing through the crowd. Harper's best friend since college, a divorce attorney with razor-sharp instincts, moved like a shark sensing blood in the water. The crowd parted. No one spoke. The orchestra had stopped playing. The only sound was the click of high heels on marble as guests stepped back, creating a circle around Harper and Derek. "Sir." A security guard appeared at Derek's elbow. Then another. They wore the discreet earpieces of Graham Whitmore's private security team. "We need you to come with us." Derek jerked his arm away. "Do you know who I am?" "I'm Derek Ashford. I've donated $500,000 to this hospital." "Sir, please don't make this difficult." The security guard's hand hovered near Derek's elbow, not touching, but ready. Graham reached them. He did not look at Derek. He looked only at Harper, his daughter, his baby girl, with a red handprint blooming across her cheek and terror in her eyes. "Harper," Graham said softly. His voice shook. In 62 years, Harper had never heard her father's voice shake. "Come with me now." "Dad, Harper's voice cracked. "Now, sweetheart." Graham placed his body between Harper and Derek. The security team closed in around them. Bryn took Harper's other arm. "I've got you. We're leaving through the service entrance. There are photographers out front." But Rachel Morrison was faster. The event photographer had already captured it. The moment Derek's hand rose, the terror in Harper's face, the protective curve of her body around her pregnant belly. Later, that photograph would be seen by 12 million people. Later, it would become Exhibit A. But right now, Harper just wanted to disappear. They moved through the kitchen. Stainless steel gleamed under harsh fluorescent lights. Chefs stood frozen, watching this pregnant woman in an emerald gown being escorted past their prep stations. A line cook dropped a pan. The clatter made Harper flinch. "It's okay," Bryn murmured. "You're safe. He can't touch you now." Outside, the May air was cool. Harper gulped it down. Her hand shook. The baby kicked again, harder this time, and Harper wondered if babies could sense fear, if her daughter could feel her mother's heart hammering, if this moment would somehow mark the child growing inside her. A black town car pulled up, one of her father's drivers. Graham opened the door himself. "Mercy General," Graham said to the driver. "Emergency entrance. Call ahead. Private suite. Dr. Sterling should meet us there." "Dad, I'm fine." "The baby's fine." "I don't need. You're going to the hospital." Graham's voice left no room for argument. "You're 6 months pregnant and you were just assaulted. Dr. Sterling will check you and the baby. End of discussion." Harper sank into the leather seat. Her mother slid in beside her, wrapping an arm around Harper's shoulders. Eleanor Whitmore smelled like Chanel No. 5 and hairspray, familiar, safe. Harper leaned into her mother and finally let herself cry. "I'm so sorry," Eleanor whispered. "I should have known. I should have seen it sooner." Harper did not ask what her mother meant. She was too tired, too shocked. Her cheek throbbed. Her head pounded. All she could think about was that sound, the crack of his palm against her skin. The silence that followed, 500 witnesses to her humiliation. The town car glided through San Francisco streets. Late evening traffic parted for them. Graham made phone calls, quiet, clipped conversations. Harper heard fragments. "I need Marcus at the hospital in 20 minutes. Pull everything we have on Ashford, everything. Get Bryn's firm on retainer tonight. I don't care what it costs." Bryn sat in the front passenger seat, already typing on her phone. "I'm filing for an emergency restraining order. We'll have it by morning. Will that work?" Eleanor asked. Her voice was small. "Will a piece of paper keep him away?" "It's a start," Bryn said. "But Mrs. Whitmore, I need to ask Harper some questions. Difficult questions. And I need honest answers." Harper closed her eyes. She knew what was coming. The question she had been avoiding for 3 years. The truth she had buried under excuses and justifications and desperate hope that things would get better. Her hand rested on her belly. The baby kicked. 1, 2, 3 times, like Morse code, like her daughter was telling her something. Harper opened her eyes. Through the car window, she saw the city lights blur past. San Francisco, the city she had always loved, suddenly felt foreign. Everything had changed in the span of a heartbeat, in the crack of a palm against skin. "Ask me anything," Harper said quietly. "I'll tell you everything." Bryn turned in her seat. Her expression was gentle but determined. "How long has he been hitting you?" Harper's throat tightened. Her mother's arms squeezed her shoulders. Her father's jaw clenched so hard she heard his teeth grind. "Since the wedding night," Harper whispered. 3 years. It started the night we got married. The town car pulled up to Mercy General Hospital. The emergency entrance gleamed under bright lights. Dr. Patricia Sterling waited at the doors, her white coat stark against the darkness. Harper stepped out of the car. Her legs felt unsteady. The emerald silk gown that had made her feel beautiful 4 hours ago now felt like a costume. She was playing the part of a woman who had it all together, a woman whose millionaire husband loved her, a woman whose pregnancy was a blessing, not a trap. But the costume was torn now. The mask had cracked. 500 people had seen the truth. Harper touched her cheek. The skin was hot and tender. By morning, there would be a bruise. Visible proof. Undeniable evidence. She walked toward the hospital doors, her mother on one side, her best friend on the other, her father behind her, a wall of protective fury. The automatic doors slid open. Cool air washed over her, antiseptic and industrial. The smell of hospitals, the smell of truth being forced into the light. Harper took a deep breath. She thought about the baby inside her, her daughter, the little girl who would be born in 3 months. The child who deserved better than this. Better than a father who could strike a pregnant woman in front of 500 witnesses. Better than a mother who had made excuses for 3 years. "Let's go," Harper said. Her voice was stronger now, clearer. "Let's figure out what happens next." The private suite in the Whitmore wing of Mercy General Hospital was designed for wealthy patients. Soft lighting. Cream-colored walls. Abstract art that cost more than most people's cars. A leather sofa where anxious family members could wait in comfort. Harper sat on the examination table. The paper crinkled beneath her. Dr. Patricia Sterling moved with practiced efficiency, wrapping the blood pressure cuff around Harper's arm. 140/90, Dr. Sterling said. Elevated, but not dangerous given the circumstances. Expected. The doctor was 50 years old with steel gray hair and kind eyes. She had delivered Harper. Now she was preparing to deliver Harper's baby. The circle of life, Harper thought bitterly. Except this circle was broken. "Let's check the baby," Dr. Sterling said. She squeezed cold gel onto Harper's belly and pressed the ultrasound wand against her skin. The heartbeat filled the room, fast and strong. Thump, 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 thump. 148 beats per minute, Dr. Sterling said. "Perfect. Your daughter is doing just fine." Harper exhaled. She had not realized she was holding her breath. Her hand found the curve of her belly. The baby kicked against her palm. As if to say, "I'm okay, Mama, we're okay." "But, Harper," Dr. Sterling continued, moving the wand lower, "we need to talk about these bruises on your ribs." Harper looked down. 4 bruises, purple and yellow, finger-shaped. She had explained them away to herself. Clumsy pregnancy, bumping into the kitchen counter. The lie was so practiced she almost believed it. "Those are from 2 weeks ago," Harper said. "Just?" Sterling said quietly. "The coloring indicates they're healing, but they were deep. Someone grabbed you hard." Silence filled the room. The baby's heartbeat continued its steady rhythm. Thump, thump, thump. "How long has this been happening?" Dr. Sterling asked. Harper's eyes filled with tears. "Since the wedding night." He said I smiled too much at the best man during the reception. When we got back to the hotel, he pushed me against the wall. Saw I had embarrassed him, made him look like a fool. The words came faster now, 3 years of silence breaking like a dam. At first, it was just pushing, grabbing my arm too hard, blocking the doorway so I couldn't leave a room. Then it got worse. A slap here, a shove there. Always in private. Always with an explanation. I was too sensitive. I was overreacting. I was making him angry. Harper wiped her eyes. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "I've been explaining away bruises for 8 months since I got pregnant. Clumsy pregnancy, I told myself. Bumping into counters. Dropping things. All lies. All lies I'd almost believed." Dr. Sterling sat down on the rolling stool. She took Harper's hand. "Harper, I need to document all of this. Every bruise, every injury. With your permission, I want to photograph everything and include it in your medical file." "Why?" Harper asked. Because if you decide to press charges, we'll need evidence. Medical documentation can be powerful in court. Harper nodded. Do it. Document everything. The examination room door opened. Graham and Eleanor entered, followed by Bryn and a man Harper did not recognize. He was 45, impeccably dressed, carrying a laptop. This is Marcus Webb, Graham said. He works for me. My right hand for the last 20 years. Marcus nodded to Harper. Mrs. Ashford, I'm sorry we're meeting under these circumstances. It's Whitmore, Harper said suddenly. I want to be Harper Whitmore again. I never should have taken his name. We'll make that official, Bryn said. I'm filing the paperwork tomorrow. Dr. Sterling finished her examination. Harper, you and the baby are physically fine. But I'm concerned about your stress levels. What happened tonight was traumatic. I want you to rest. Stay with your parents. No contact with your husband. If you experience any cramping, bleeding, or decreased fetal movement, call me immediately. I will, Harper promised. Dr. Sterling squeezed her hand. You're stronger than you think. And you're not alone. After the doctor left, Marcus opened his laptop. Harper, I need to show you something. And your mother called me 6 months ago, after Thanksgiving. She noticed bruises on your wrists that looked like handprints. Harper turned to her mother. Eleanor's eyes were red from crying. I pretended not to see them at first, Eleanor said. I told myself I was imagining things. But then, at Christmas, I saw the way Derek grabbed your arm, the way you flinched, the way you made yourself smaller around him. I knew that look. I'd seen it before in other women. So I called Marcus. Eleanor continued, asked him to look into Derek, quietly, without telling anyone. Not even your father. Graham looked stunned. Eleanor, you kept this from me? For 6 months? I needed proof, Eleanor said. I couldn't accuse Harper's husband of abuse without evidence. What if I was wrong? What if I destroyed their marriage over a misunderstanding? You weren't wrong, Harper said softly. Marcus turned his laptop screen toward Harper. We've been investigating Derek for 6 months, and Harper, what we found goes beyond domestic abuse. Your husband is running a sophisticated financial fraud scheme. The screen showed spreadsheets, bank accounts, wire transfers, numbers that made Harper's head spin. Derek has been embezzling from his own investors, Marcus explained. He set up shell companies, fake consulting fees. He's been moving money for 18 months. The structure is a classic Ponzi scheme. He pays old investors with new investor money. Right now, he's about 18 months from complete collapse. Harper felt numb. How much? $14 million, Marcus said. 23 families. Some of them lost their retirement savings. Graham stood abruptly. He walked to the window. His hands were shaking. Harper had never seen her father's hands shake. That son of a bitch, Graham said quietly. That arrogant, abusive son of a bitch. Bryn leaned forward. Harper, this changes everything. We're not just talking about divorce now. We're talking about criminal charges. Federal charges. Derek could go to prison for a long time. Harper's head spun. 2 hours ago, she had been at a charity gala, laughing, hopeful, believing that maybe, just maybe, the baby would change things, Derek would be different, they could be a family. Now she knew the truth. Her husband was not just abusive. He was a criminal. A liar. A fraud. There's more, Marcus said. He pulled up another file. We found active dating profiles. Created 3 months ago while you were pregnant. Harper stared at the screen. Derek's photo. His profile. Asterisk married but looking for excitement. My wife's basically a cow right now. Asterisk. The words hit like a physical blow. Harper did that thing where you cry so hard, no sound comes out, just shaking, like your body's trying to turn itself inside out. Her mother wrapped her in a hug. Bryn rubbed her back. Her father turned away, unable to watch his daughter break. After several minutes, Harper pulled herself together. She wiped her eyes, took a deep breath, put her hand on her belly. I'm not crazy, Harper said. The words came out strong, clear. This isn't normal. I didn't deserve this. No, you didn't, Bryn agreed. What are my options? Harper asked. Bryn ticked them off on her fingers. Quiet divorce. Divide assets. Negotiate custody. Keep it out of the press. Public divorce. Make his abuse and fraud known. Let him be judged in the court of public opinion. Or criminal charges. Federal prosecution for investor fraud. State charges for domestic violence. Graham turned from the window. Or I can destroy him. Everyone looked at Graham. I've built an empire by being patient, Graham said. Strategic. Ruthless when necessary. I can dismantle everything Derek has built. Legally, financially, completely. How long would that take? Harper asked. Graham's smile was cold. If that's what you want? 48 hours. Harper thought about the baby inside her, her daughter. 3 months from now, this little girl would be born. She would look up at Harper with brand new eyes and learn what love meant. Learn what strength meant. Learn what it meant to protect the people you loved. I thought about that baby growing inside me. Harper's inner voice said, my daughter. I would burn the world down before I let her think this was love. Harper looked at her father, at her mother, at Bryn, at Marcus with his laptop full of evidence. Teach him consequences, Harper said. 3 words, quiet but absolute. Graham nodded once. 48 hours. By the time we're done, Derek Ashford won't have a company, a reputation, or a future. Marcus closed his laptop. I'll make the calls. Bryn stood. I'll start the legal paperwork. Restraining order by morning. Divorce filing by noon. Eleanor helped Harper off the examination table. Let's get you home. You need rest. Harper walked toward the door. Her legs felt steadier now, stronger. The fear was still there, sharp and cold in her chest. But something else was there too, something harder, something like rage. She paused at the door, turned back to look at the examination room, the leather sofa, the abstract art, the ultrasound machine still humming quietly. 2 hours ago, her life had been a lie, a carefully constructed illusion of a perfect marriage, a successful husband, a happy pregnancy. Now the illusion was shattered. The truth was ugly and painful and terrifying, but it was real. And real meant she could finally fight back. Harper touched her cheek. The skin was hot and swollen. By morning, there would be a purple bruise. Visible proof. Undeniable evidence. Good, she thought. Asterisk, let everyone see. Let everyone know. I'm done hiding. Asterisk, the sunrise over San Francisco Bay was spectacular. Pink and gold light spilling across the water. Harper watched from the window of her childhood bedroom in her parents' Pacific Heights estate. She had not slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard that sound, the crack of Derek's palm against her skin. Her hand rested on her belly. The baby had been active all night, kicking, rolling, as if she could sense her mother's distress. I'm sorry, baby girl, Harper whispered. I'm so sorry you have to be part of this. A soft knock on the door. Eleanor entered, carrying a tray. Coffee for herself, herbal tea for Harper, croissants that Harper knew she would not be able to eat. Marcus and Bryn are downstairs, Eleanor said. They have information. Are you ready? Harper nodded. She was still wearing the hospital gown they had given her last night. Her emerald dress was gone evidence now, photographed and documented, like everything else. Eleanor helped her into soft pajamas, cashmere, expensive. The kind of luxury Harper had grown up with and then left behind when she married Derek. He had insisted they live modestly, save money, build their future. Now Harper knew where that money had actually gone. Downstairs, the living room was filled with morning light. Marcus sat on the sofa with his laptop. Bryn occupied an armchair, legal files stacked beside her. Graham stood by the fireplace, coffee in hand, looking like he had not slept either. Good morning, Marcus said gently. How are you feeling? Angry, Harper said. She sat down carefully. Her body ached. Stress and pregnancy did not mix well. Show me everything. Marcus opened his laptop. I want to start with the financial fraud. Then we'll move to the personal files. Some of this will be difficult to see. Harper lifted her chin. I need to see it all. The first file showed bank statements. Derek's company, Ashford Technologies, had legitimate revenue software development. Consulting fees, about $5 million per year. Respectable, but not spectacular. This is what he shows his investors, Marcus explained. Clean books, steady growth. But here's the real picture. Another window opened. Shell companies with names like Pacific Consulting Group and Bay Area Tech Solutions. Money flowing in from investors, money flowing out to fake vendors, money disappearing into offshore accounts. He's been doing this for 18 months, Marcus said. He takes money from new investors, uses it to pay returns to old investors. Classic Ponzi scheme. Eventually it collapses. Always does. Who are the investors? Harper asked. Marcus pulled up a list. Names, addresses, investment amounts. 23 families, Marcus said. Some are wealthy. They can absorb the loss. But others are not. This couple, John and Martha Peterson. They're 72 years old. They invested their entire retirement, $400,000, everything they had. Harper felt sick. Derek did that? Derek did that, Marcus confirmed. And this is just what we found so far. There could be more. Bryn leaned forward. Harper, this is important. Did you know about any of this? Did you sign any documents for his company? Have access to any accounts? No, Harper said. Derek kept me completely separate from his business. He said I wouldn't understand it, that I should focus on the home and the baby. I thought he was being protective. Now I see he was hiding everything. Good, Bryn said. That protects you legally. You're not liable for his fraud. But we need to be careful. If we go public with divorce proceedings, Derek might try to claim you were involved, deflect blame. We need to establish your innocence immediately. Marcus clicked to another file. Now for the personal information. Harper, this is going to hurt. The screen showed a dating profile. Derek's photo, his real name, his real age, but the status said married, but looking. The bio read, * successful tech entrepreneur. Wife's pregnant, basically a cow right now. Looking for someone fun, discreet, no drama. * Harper's vision blurred. She heard her mother gasp. Her father slammed his coffee cup down so hard it cracked. There are messages, Marcus said quietly. With 8 different women. All from the last 3 months. Want me to show them? No, Harper whispered. Then, stronger. Yes, show me everything. The messages were worse than the profile. Derek calling Harper frigid, complaining about her pregnancy weight, mocking her to strangers, arranging hotel meetings. Some of the messages included photos, Derek with other women, intimate photos, proof of affairs. Harper stood up, walked to the window. She needed air, space, distance from the screen showing her husband's betrayal. The memories came flooding back, every tainted moment replaying in her mind. Their first anniversary, Derek had been distant, distracted. She thought he was stressed about work now. She wondered if he had been with someone else. Her birthday last year, he completely forgot, came home at midnight with wilted flowers from a gas station. She had forgiven him, made excuses. He was busy building his company, she told herself. The day she told him she was pregnant, she had been terrified. They had only been married 2 years. She knew the relationship was rocky, but she hoped a baby would bring them closer. Derek's face when she showed him the positive test. Not joy, not excitement, resignation, like she had trapped him. This wasn't an accident, was it? Harper had asked that day. Does it matter? Derek had replied. You're pregnant. We'll deal with it. Deal with it. Like their daughter was a problem, an inconvenience, something to be managed. Harper touched her belly. The baby kicked, strong, insistent. I'm sorry, Harper whispered to her daughter. I'm so sorry I didn't see this sooner. I'm sorry I wasted 3 years trying to make him love us. She turned back to the room. Her father was on the phone, pacing, his voice low and angry. Her mother sat with her face in her hands. Bryn and Marcus waited quietly, giving Harper space to process. What else? Harper asked. What else did you find? Marcus hesitated. There are recordings. From company events. Derek didn't know the security cameras had audio. We have footage of him talking about you. To his business partners. To clients. Play them, Harper said. Harper, I don't think, Bryn started. Play them, Harper repeated. I need to know everything. Marcus clicked play. Derek's voice filled the room, casual, amused, talking to someone at a company party. Asterisk, my wife? She's just arm candy with a trust fund. Thought marrying a Whitmore would open doors. Instead, I got a clingy, emotional mess. The pregnancy was her trap, lock me down, get access to my money. Women like her are all the same. Asterisk, another clip, different event. Derek's voice harder now. Asterisk, I can't stand being around her. Everything's about the baby. Baby this, baby that. She acts like she's the first woman to ever get pregnant. It's pathetic. Asterisk, a third clip, more recent, last month. Asterisk, when this kid's born, I'm filing for divorce. Take the Whitmore name, get some of that family money, and get the hell out. 3 years of this is enough. Asterisk, the room fell silent. The recordings ended. Harper sat down slowly. Her legs would not hold her anymore. The full picture was clear now. Derek never loved her. This was always about money, access, status. She was never a wife. She was a mark, a target, a means to an end. The baby kicked hard, as if to say, asterisk, but I'm real, Mama, I'm here. I'm real, asterisk. I need a minute, Harper said. I need to be alone. Eleanor started to protest, but Graham shook his head. Give her space. Harper walked out to the garden. Morning sun warmed the stone patio. Rose bushes bloomed pink and white. Everything was beautiful, peaceful, normal. But Harper's world had shattered. She sat on the garden bench. The cold stones seeped through her thin pajamas. She welcomed the discomfort. It helped her focus, grounded her. Harper did what she always did when processing trauma. She made lists in her head. Things he had broken, her trust. Her confidence, her ability to recognize love. Her sense of safety, her vision for the future. Things he had said, you're too sensitive. You're overreacting. You made me do this. Why do you have to ruin everything? No one else would put up with you. Things she had forgiven. Bruises, cruel words, public humiliation, private terror, infidelity. 3 years of systematic emotional and physical abuse. Things she would never forgive. Calling their daughter a trap. Planning to abandon them, using her for money. Making her doubt her own reality, the list helped. It made everything concrete, real, undeniable. Harper heard footsteps. Bryn sat down beside her. I know what you're doing, Bryn said. I do it too. Make lists. Organize the chaos. Try to make sense of the senseless. Does it help? Harper asked. Sometimes, Bryn admitted. But Harper, some things don't make sense. Abuse never makes sense. It's not rational. It's not your fault. There's no magic list that will explain why Derek chose to be this person. Harper leaned against her friend. I feel so stupid. 3 years. How did I not see this? You saw it, Bryn said gently. You just didn't want to believe it. That's not stupidity. That's hope. That's love. You wanted to believe the best in him. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, there is, Harper said. Because now my daughter pays the price. She grow up and with this man as her father, she'll see him every other weekend. She'll learn his patterns. What if she ends up with someone like him? She won't, Bryn said firmly. Because she'll have you. She see you walk away. She see you fight back. She learned that love doesn't hurt, that marriage isn't supposed to feel like walking on eggshells, that women don't have to make themselves smaller to keep men comfortable. Harper put her hand on her belly. The baby was quiet now, resting. I'm not crazy, Harper said aloud. The words felt important, necessary. This isn't normal. I didn't deserve this. Say it again, Bryn urged. I'm not crazy. This isn't normal. I didn't deserve this. Again, with feeling. I'm not crazy. This isn't normal. I didn't deserve this. The words grew stronger each time, more certain, more real. They sat in silence for several minutes. The garden was peaceful. Birds sang. A breeze rustled the roses. Everything was normal. Everything was fine. Except nothing was normal. Nothing was fine. But Harper was still here, still breathing, still becoming someone stronger than she had been yesterday. Finally she stood. "Let's go back inside," she said. "I want to know everything. Every detail. Every piece of evidence. If we're going to destroy him in 48 hours, I want to know exactly how." Bryn smiled. "That's my girl." They walked back to the house together. Harper felt different, steadier. The shock was wearing off. The anger was building. The clarity was sharp and cold. Derek had spent 3 years making her feel small, weak, crazy, worthless. Now it was her turn. Now she would show him what happened when you underestimated a Whitmore woman. Derek Ashford woke in his penthouse with a splitting headache and a mouth that tasted like regret. Sunlight stabbed through the floor-to-ceiling windows. He groaned and rolled over, reaching for Harper. The bed was empty. Derek sat up slowly. The room spun. How much had he drunk last night? He remembered the gala, the endless small talk. Harper talking, always talking. Something about his mother, the nursery, then his hand connected with her face. Derek's stomach dropped. Oh God, he had hit her. In public, at the charity gala, in front of everyone. His phone buzzed. 53 missed calls. 38 text messages. 15 voicemails. Derek scrolled through with growing dread. His assistant. His lawyer. His business partner. His mother. All with variations of the same message. Asterisk call immediately. Emergency. We need to talk. Asterisk he tried Harper's number. Straight to voicemail. He tried his assistant. She answered on the first ring. "Sir, we have a problem," she said without preamble. "Several problems. What's going on?" Derek asked. His head pounded. "The markets opened 20 minutes ago. Whitmore Industries dumped every stock position related to your company. Every single share. The stock price is in free fall. We've lost 7 figures in the last hour." Derek's blood went cold. "Graham Whitmore did this?" "Yes, sir. And there's more. Your line of credit with Pacific Bank was frozen this morning. The country club called. They've suspended your membership pending review. And sir, you need to see the news." Derek grabbed his laptop, opened a browser. The headline hit him like a physical blow. Tech mogul assaults pregnant wife at charity gala. Below the headline was a photograph. Crystal clear, high resolution. Derek's hand raised. Harper's face twisted in fear, her body curved protectively around her pregnant belly. The photo had been shared 200,000 times already. Derek's phone buzzed. His business partner, Trevor Hayes. "Emergency board meeting," Trevor said without greeting. "Mandatory attendance. 1 hour. Don't be late." "Trevor, wait." Trevor hung up. Derek scrolled through the rest of his messages. His mother. Asterisk, what did you do to that poor girl? His lawyer. We need to talk today. The hospital foundation. Withdrawing your board position, effective immediately. Everything was falling apart. Derek stumbled to the bathroom, splashed cold water on his face, looked at himself in the mirror. He looked terrible, bloodshot eyes, stubble, wrinkled clothes from last night. He looked like exactly what he was, a man who had gotten drunk and hit his pregnant wife in front of 500 people. But it was just one time, Derek told himself. One mistake. Harper would forgive him. She always forgave him. She was soft, weak. She needed him. Except Harper was a Whitmore, and the Whitmores were neither soft nor weak. Derek's phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. Asterisk, you have 47 hours left. Enjoy them. Asterisk. Derek stared at the message. What did that mean? 47 hours until what? Another text appeared. A photo of Harper with her parents. Timestamp 2 a.m. She was at Mercy General, the Whitmore wing. Safe. Protected. Beyond his reach. Derek threw his phone across the bathroom. It hit the marble wall and cracked. He did not care. He needed to think. Figure out how to fix this. Apologize. Explain. make Harper understand that he was under stress. The business was difficult. He had too much to drink. It would never happen again. He would send flowers, jewelry, get on his knees and beg if he had to. Remind her that they were married, they had a baby coming, they were a family. Except they were not a family. They never had been. Derek knew that. He had married Harper for her connections, her last name, her family's money and influence. The love was pretend, always had been. But Harper did not know that. Harper believed. Harper hoped. Harper forgave. At least she used to. Derek got dressed. Expensive suit. Italian shoes. Gold watch. Armor for the day ahead. He looked at himself in the mirror and practiced his expression, remorseful, ashamed, sincere. He could salvage this. He just needed to get Harper alone, away from her parents, away from that shark of a best friend, Bryn. He could make her see reason. Derek drove to Ashford Technologies' offices in his BMW, black, sleek, fast. Usually, driving calmed him. Today, every red light felt like a countdown. 47 hours. What happened in 47 hours? The parking garage was empty. 9 a.m. on a Monday, and the employee parking was empty. Derek's unease grew. He took the elevator to the 10th floor, the executive suite. His office. His kingdom. The conference room was full. Trevor Hayes sat at the head of the table, not Derek's usual seat. The 3 board members occupied the other chairs. The corporate attorney, a woman Derek did not recognize with forensic accountant on her name badge. No one smiled when Derek entered. "Gentlemen," Derek said. He tried for confident, landed on nervous. "Ladies, what's this about?" Trevor stood. "Derek Ashford, I'm invoking the morality clause in your contract. Section 7. Paragraph 3. Any executive who engages in behavior that reflects poorly on the company or damages its reputation can be removed from their position by majority board vote." Derek's mouth went dry. "Trevor, we've been friends for 10 years, partners. You can't be serious." "I'm completely serious," Trevor said. "Last night, you assaulted your pregnant wife at a public charity event in front of 500 witnesses. The photo has been viewed by 2 million people. Our clients are pulling their contracts. Our investors are demanding explanations. The board has decided your behavior is unacceptable. It was one mistake." Derek said, his voice rose. "One bad night. You can't destroy my career over one mistake." The corporate attorney opened a folder. "Mr. Ashford, we have documentation of a pattern of concerning behavior. Company resources used for personal matters. Inappropriate comments to female employees. Expense reports that don't match receipts. You've been investigating me?" Derek's shock was genuine. "For 6 months," Trevor said. "Since your wife attended the Christmas party with bruises on her wrists. I noticed. I started paying attention. And I didn't like what I saw." The forensic accountant pushed a stack of papers across the table. "We've also found irregularities in the company finances. Transfers that don't make sense. Consulting fees to companies that don't exist. Mr. Ashford, can you explain these transactions?" Derek looked at the papers. His shell companies. His off-books accounts. His carefully hidden fraud. They knew. Somehow they knew everything. "I want to speak to my lawyer," Derek said. "Your lawyer called this morning," Trevor replied. "He's withdrawing as your counsel." "Conflict of interest," he said. "I think he just doesn't want to be associated with you anymore." Derek looked around the table. Every face was cold, judgmental, final. "You're voting me out," Derek said flatly. "We already voted," Trevor said. "Unanimous decision. You're no longer CEO of Ashford Technologies. Your equity stake is being purchased by the board at fair market value. You have until 5 p.m. today to clear out your office. Security will escort you." "This is illegal," Derek said. "I'll sue. I'll fight this." "Read your contract," the attorney said. "Morality clause is ironclad. You gave us the ability to remove you if your behavior damaged the company. Last night, you handed us the perfect justification. Two security guards appeared in the doorway, not the friendly guards who said good morning. New guards, professional, hired specifically for this. "Mr. Ashford," one of them said, "we need you to come with us." Derek stood on shaking legs. "Trevor, please. We can work this out. Give me another chance." Trevor's expression did not change. "You hit a pregnant woman, Derek, your pregnant wife. At a charity event. In front of everyone. There are no second chances for that." Derek was escorted to his office. 30 minutes to pack his personal items. The security guards watched every move, making sure he did not take company property, making sure he did not destroy evidence. Derek looked around his office, corner office, 10th floor. Windows overlooking the bay. He had worked for 15 years to get here, built his company from nothing. And in one night, one stupid moment, he had lost everything. No, not everything. He still had his investments, his offshore accounts, the money he had hidden away. Except the forensic accountant had found those accounts, which meant soon, very soon, someone else would too. Derek's phone buzzed. A new message from the unknown number. 45 hours left. Derek left the building carrying a cardboard box with his personal items, a photo of him and Harper on their wedding day, a trophy from his college rowing team, a desk. Lamp he had bought at IKEA when he first started the company. Everything else belonged to Ashford Technologies, which was no longer his company. Derek sat in his BMW in the parking garage. He tried Harper's number again. Still voicemail. He tried his mother. She answered. "I need help," Derek said. "Mom, I need money." "A place to stay." They took everything. "No," Judith Ashford said. "What?" I said, "No, Derek, I'm not helping you. I stayed silent for too long, made excuses for you, just like I made excuses for your father. But I'm done. You're my son, and I love you, but I can't support what you did. Mom, please. Goodbye, Derek. Get help. Real help. Face what you've done. Maybe someday we can talk again, but not today." Judith hung up. Derek sat alone in his car. The parking garage was silent except for the hum of ventilation fans. His phone battery was at 5%. His head still pounded. His world was collapsing. But Harper would take him back. She had to. They were married. They had a baby coming. She was forgiving. She was soft. She was his. Except a small voice in the back of Derek's mind whispered the truth. Harper was never his. She was a Whitmore, and the Whitmores protected their own. Derek started the car. He would go to the Whitmore estate, force a conversation, make Harper listen, remind her of their vows, for better or worse, in sickness and in health. She had promised. She could not just walk away. Derek pulled out of the parking garage into bright morning sun. He did not see Marcus Webb sitting in a black SUV across the street, did not see the camera photographing his every move, did not know that Graham Whitmore was tracking his location in real time. The countdown had started. 45 hours left. And Derek Ashford had no idea what was coming next. Harper sat in her childhood bedroom, doing what she always did when processing trauma, making lists, asterisk, things he'd broken, things he'd said, things she'd forgiven, things she never would again, asterisk. The morning sun streamed through lace curtains. She could hear voices downstairs, her father on the phone, her mother talking quietly with Bryn, Marcus typing on his laptop. An army assembling to protect her. The baby kicked. Harper placed both hands on her belly. "Good morning, little one," she whispered. "We're okay. We're safe now." A knock on the door. Eleanor entered with fresh clothes, soft maternity jeans, a cashmere sweater in pale blue. Comfortable, but put together. "Marcus has news," Eleanor said. Something happened at Derek's company. Harper dressed carefully, every movement deliberate. She was done being the scared woman in the hospital gown, done being the victim. Today, she became something else. Something harder. Downstairs, Marcus looked triumphant. Trevor Hayes just called. The board voted Derek out unanimously. They invoked the morality clause. Derek no longer has any position at Ashford Technologies. Graham poured himself another coffee, his fourth of the morning. How did they move so fast? Trevor's been planning this for months, Marcus explained. He kept immaculate records. Every concerning behavior, every questionable expense. The photograph from last night gave him the excuse he needed. "So Trevor gets the company?" Harper asked. "Trevor gets control," Marcus confirmed. "And in exchange for his cooperation, we're letting him keep it. He's agreed to testify about Derek's financial irregularities, give us access to all company records. Trevor's saving himself by destroying Derek." Bryn made notes on her legal pad. "This is good for us. Corporate fraud charges carry serious penalties. Federal investigation, possible prison time." "How long?" Harper asked. "For the investigation to conclude, 6 to 12 months. For sentencing, if he's convicted, 5 to 10 years. Harper absorbed this. Derek in prison. Her daughter growing up without a father. Was that what she wanted? "I know what you're thinking," Bryn said gently. "You're wondering if you're being too harsh, if you should show mercy, give him another chance." "How did you know?" Harper asked. "Because you're a good person. Because 3 years of abuse trained you to consider his feelings before your own. Because even now, even after everything, part of you still wants to believe he can change." Harper looked at her hands. They were shaking slightly. "Is that wrong?" "It's not wrong," Bryn said. "It's human." "But Harper, abusers don't change. Not really. They might apologize, promise to be better, go to therapy, but the core pattern remains: control, possession, the belief that you belong to them." Graham sat down beside Harper. "Sweetheart, I need to ask you something. What do you want to happen here? This is your decision, your life, your future. I can destroy Derek's empire. Marcus can bury him in legal problems. But only if that's what you truly want." Harper thought about the question. What did she want? She wanted her daughter to be safe, to grow up knowing that hitting was wrong, that women deserve respect, that love didn't hurt. She wanted Derek to understand consequences, to feel what she had felt: powerless, scared, trapped. She wanted justice, not revenge. There was a difference. "I want him to lose everything I lost," Harper said quietly. "I lost my sense of safety, my trust, my future, my dignity. I want him to know how that feels." "Then we continue," Graham said. A car pulled up outside. Through the window, Harper saw an older woman stepping out, late 60s, elegant, familiar. "That's Judith," Harper said. "Derek's mother." "I'll handle this," Eleanor said. But Harper stood. "No, I will." Harper walked to the front door, met Judith Ashford on the steps. The older woman's eyes were red from crying. "Harper," Judith said. "Please, I need to talk to you." "Come in," Harper said. They sat in the sunroom. Judith twisted a handkerchief in her hands. She looked smaller than Harper remembered, frailer. "I saw the photograph," Judith said, "of Derek hitting you. And I knew, God help me, I knew this would happen someday." "You knew he was abusive?" Harper asked. "I suspected. The signs were there. The way he talked about you, the way you seemed small around him. I've seen those signs before." "Where?" Harper asked, though she already knew the answer. "My husband," Judith said. "Derek's father. He hit me for 38 years. Started on our honeymoon. A slap because I packed his shirts wrong. Then it escalated. By the end, I was making excuses to family, wearing long sleeves in summer, lying to doctors." Judith looked directly at Harper. "I told myself Derek would be different. He was sensitive as a puppy, gentle. But then he grew up, started dating. I saw the way he talked about girlfriends, the control, the manipulation. I recognized the pattern. Why didn't you warn me?" Harper asked. The anger surprised her. "When Derek proposed, why didn't you tell me what he was capable of?" "Because I hoped I was wrong," Judith said. Her voice broke. "I hoped he'd grown, changed, been better than his father. And I was ashamed. If I admitted Derek was like his father, I had to admit I'd failed. Failed to protect him. Failed to break the cycle." Eleanor had entered quietly. She sat down beside Judith. "How old was Derek when the abuse started?" Eleanor asked. 8, Judith said. "That's when his father started hitting him too. Told him real men don't cry, don't show weakness, don't let women control them." Harper felt sick. The cycle was clear now. Grandfather to father to son. Each generation passing down violence like a family heirloom. "I'm not making excuses," Judith said quickly. What Derek did is inexcusable. But I want you to understand the poison he grew up in. The lessons he learned. Understanding doesn't equal forgiveness, Harper said. No, Judith agreed. It doesn't. Harper, I came here to apologize and to ask you not to make my mistake. I stayed for 38 years. Told myself it was for Derek, that children needed their father, that marriage was forever. All lies, all excuses. Judith reached across and took Harper's hands. Her skin was paper thin, aged beyond her years. You're 6 months pregnant, Judith said. Your daughter is going to watch how you handle this. She's going to learn what women should accept from men, what love should look like. Don't teach her what I taught Derek. Don't teach her that violence is normal, that you should stay quiet, make yourself small, forgive the unforgivable. Tears streamed down Harper's face. I'm scared. Of course you are, Judith said. Leaving is terrifying. I know, I should have done it 40 years ago, but I was weak. You're not. You're strong. You're a Whitmore. You have resources I never had. Use them. Protect your daughter. End this cycle. Eleanor put her arm around both women. 3 generations of choices visible in their faces. Judith, who stayed. Eleanor, who never had to make that choice. Harper, who was choosing to leave. I deserve better than this, Harper said. The validation, the whisper came naturally now, stronger each time. My daughter deserves better than this. The cycle ends here. They sat in the sunroom for a long time, sunlight warming the space. The 3 women connected by shared understanding, by the universal experience of being underestimated, controlled, hurt. Finally, Judith stood. I should go. But Harper, one more thing. Derek is dangerous right now. Cornered, desperate men like him, when they lose control, they lash out. Promise me you'll be careful. I promise, Harper said. After Judith left, Harper sat alone, her hand on her belly. The baby quiet now, resting. Harper thought about Judith, 38 years of abuse, a lifetime of silent suffering, all to protect a son who grew up to become his father anyway. The cycle could have ended with Judith. Should have ended. But fear kept her trapped. Shame kept her silent. Harper would not make that mistake. She walked back to the living room. Graham, Eleanor, Marcus, and Bryn looked up. I want to press charges, Harper said. All of them. Domestic violence, assault, everything we have evidence for. And I want to pursue the financial fraud. Every victim deserves justice. Not just me. Are you sure? Graham asked. It's going to be ugly, public. The trial could take years. I'm sure, Harper said. Derek has been hiding behind his image for years. Successful businessman. Charming husband. Generous donor. Time to show everyone who he really is. Marcus opened his laptop. I'll contact the district attorney. We have medical evidence, photographs, witness testimony. They'll want to move fast. Bryn pulled out her phone. I'll call the press. If we're going public, we control the narrative. I'll draft a statement for Harper to release. What should it say? Harper asked. Bryn thought for a moment. The truth, simple, direct, your words, not mine. What do you want people to know? Harper closed her eyes, thought about the moment Derek's hand connected with her face, the 500 witnesses, the photograph that had been shared 2 million times. What did she want people to know? I want them to know I'm not ashamed, Harper said. Being abused isn't shameful. Staying in an abusive marriage isn't a weakness. Loving someone who hurts you doesn't make you stupid. What's shameful is the person who hurts someone they promised to love. What's weak is hitting a pregnant woman. What's stupid is thinking you can do it in front of witnesses and suffer no consequences. Perfect, Bryn said. I'll clean up the language but keep the sentiment. We'll release it in 2 hours. Harper's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. She opened it cautiously. Asterisk, you think you're safe? You think your daddy can protect you? I'm coming for you. You're still my wife. Asterisk. Harper showed the text to the group. Graham's face darkened. Save that, Bryn said. Screenshot it. That's evidence of harassment and threats. Marcus made a phone call. I'm increasing security. Harper, you don't go anywhere without protection. Not until Derek is in custody. You think he'd hurt me again? Harper asked. I think he's lost everything, Marcus said. His company, his reputation, his freedom. Men like Derek don't accept responsibility. They blame. And right now, you're the easiest target. Graham pulled Harper into a hug. No one is touching you. I promise. We have the best security team in the city. Derek won't get within 100 yards. But Harper felt the fear creeping back, the old familiar terror. What if Derek showed up? What if he forced his way in? What if— Stop, Bryn said gently. She knew Harper's spiral. Derek has no power here. He's been exposed, fired, abandoned by his own mother. The police are watching him. If he tries anything, he goes straight to jail. He knows that, does he? Harper asked. He hit me at a charity gala in front of 500 people. If he's that reckless when he's in control, what will he do now that he's desperate? No one had an answer for that. Harper walked to the window, looked out at the garden. The roses were blooming, pink and white and yellow. Everything looked so normal, so peaceful. But peace was an illusion. Safety was temporary. Violence could erupt anywhere, anytime. Harper had learned that lesson 3 years ago. She just hadn't wanted to believe it. Her phone buzzed again. Another text. 42 hours left. What happened in 42 hours? What was the countdown for? Harper had a terrible feeling she was about to find out. The next 24 hours passed in a blur of legal documents and phone calls. Bryn filed emergency motions. Marcus coordinated with federal investigators. Graham used every connection he had to ensure Derek couldn't hide assets or flee the country. Harper existed in a strange state of numbness. Too much shock. Too much information. Too much changed, too fast. Her body was present, but her mind felt distant, floating. She slept fitfully. When she did sleep, she dreamed of Derek's hand raised, the crack, the silence, over and over. She woke gasping, hand on her belly, checking that the baby was still moving. The baby was always moving. Strong kicks, rolls, hiccups. Her daughter was fine, completely unaware of the war being waged outside the womb. On the second morning, Harper woke to sharp cramping. Not contractions, but wrong. Uncomfortable, scary. She found Eleanor in the kitchen. Mom, something's wrong. They were at Mercy General within 20 minutes. Dr. Sterling met them in the emergency entrance. Private suite. Immediate care. The ultrasound wand pressed against Harper's belly. The heartbeat filled the room. 148 beats per minute. Perfect. Beautiful. The baby's fine, Dr. Sterling said. But Harper, you're showing signs of stress-induced complications. Your blood pressure is elevated. You're having Braxton Hicks contractions. Your body is trying to go into early labor. What does that mean? Eleanor asked. It means Harper needs complete bed rest. No stress, no drama. No court appearances or legal battles. Her body needs to focus on keeping this baby safe for 3 more months. I can't just hide, Harper protested. Derek needs to face consequences. I need to be part of that. You can be part of it from bed, Dr. Sterling said firmly. Video calls. Phone conferences. But Harper, if you don't rest, you could lose this baby. Is that what you want? The question hit like a slap. Harper put both hands on her belly, felt the baby moving, alive, dependent on Harper keeping herself calm, safe, stable. No, Harper whispered. That's the last thing I want. Dr. Sterling squeezed her hand. I know this feels impossible. You want to fight, stand up, show strength. But right now, the strongest thing you can do is rest. Let your body heal. Let your baby grow. Let other people fight for you for now. After the examination, Eleanor drove Harper back to the estate. They set up the guest room on the first floor, large windows overlooking the garden, a comfortable bed, everything Harper might need within reach. Graham installed a video conferencing system, a laptop with secure connections, a printer for documents that needed signatures. Harper could participate in the legal proceedings without leaving the room. I feel useless, Harper said. You're growing a human, Bryn replied. That's not useless. That's the most important thing you can do right now. But Harper couldn't shake the restlessness, the fear, the sense that she was abandoning the fight by staying in bed. That night, at 3 a.m., Harper lay awake. This was the worst time. The darkness made everything bigger, scarier, more impossible. She thought about the baby, about being a mother. What if she wasn't strong enough? What if Derek's abuse had broken something in her? What if she passed that damage to her daughter? Harper did that thing where the doubts spiral 3 a.m. doubts that feel enormous, unreasonable in daylight, but suffocating in darkness. Asterisk, what if I'm not strong enough? What if I'm broken? What if I break her too? The baby kicked, hard, insistent, as if to say, asterisk, stop it, Mama, I'm fine. You're fine. We're going to be okay. Asterisk, Harper put her hand on her belly, breathed, focused on that movement, that life, that reason to keep fighting. I'm scared, Harper whispered to her daughter. I'm so scared I'm not going to be enough for you. The baby kicked again, twice, 3 times. Harper smiled despite her tears. Okay, I hear you. We're doing this together. The next morning, Marcus arrived with news. The SEC has opened an official investigation into Derek's company. They've frozen his accounts, seized his assets. Derek's broke. Harper asked. Almost. He has about $5,000 in his personal checking account. Everything else is frozen pending investigation. Graham looked satisfied. Good. Let him feel what it's like to have nothing. There's more, Marcus continued. Trevor Hayes provided evidence of 23 victims. The district attorney is filing charges. Grand jury convenes next week. Harper absorbed this. 23 families. 23 groups of people Derek had stolen from. Some wealthy, some not. All hurt. I want to meet them, Harper said. The victims. Harper, I don't think that's a good idea, Bryn said. They might blame you, see you as connected to Derek's fraud. Let them, Harper said. They deserve to know I had no idea, that I'm a victim too, that we're on the same side. Marcus made arrangements. A video conference with the victims' advocacy group. 20 people on the call. Faces filled the screen. Young, old, every ethnicity, every economic class, united by Derek's betrayal. Harper sat in bed, laptop propped on pillows, and faced them. My name is Harper Whitmore, she began. Some of you know me as Derek Ashford's wife. I want you to know that I had no knowledge of his financial crimes. No involvement in his business. No access to any accounts. I'm a victim of Derek's abuse, just like you're victims of his fraud. An older man spoke up. My wife and I invested our retirement. $400,000, everything we saved in 40 years. It's gone. How do we get it back? My father is establishing a restitution fund, Harper said. Every penny Derek stole will be repaid. With interest. You'll be made whole. I promise. A woman in her 30s raised her hand. Why should we trust you? You're rich. You have resources. We have nothing. You're right, Harper said. I am privileged. I have family support you might not have. But I also spent 3 years being abused, gaslit, controlled. Derek stole from me too. Not money, but dignity, safety, trust. We're all trying to rebuild from his damage. The conversation lasted an hour. By the end, the hostility had softened. Not forgiveness, but understanding. Shared experience. Common ground. After the call ended, Harper felt exhausted but lighter. These were real people. Real pain. Making it right mattered more than punishing Derek. That afternoon, Derek's new attorney called bottom-tier lawyer, the kind who advertised on bus benches. Desperate for high-profile cases. Mr. Ashford would like to discuss custody arrangements, the lawyer said over speakerphone. Bryn and Harper listened together. Excuse me? Bryn said, Mr. Ashford intends to seek full custody of the child upon birth. He believes Mrs. Ashford's mental state is unstable. Her family's vendetta against him proves she's unfit. Harper's blood ran cold. Derek wanted her baby. Wanted to take the one thing she had left. That's absurd, Bryn said calmly. Mr. Ashford assaulted his pregnant wife. There's photographic evidence, medical documentation, witness testimony. No judge will award him custody. Mr. Ashford claims he was provoked. That Mrs. Ashford has been undermining his relationship with his mother, causing stress in their marriage. The slap was unfortunate but understandable given the circumstances. He's blaming me, Harper said flatly. Of course he is, Bryn said. We'll be filing motions, the lawyer continued, requesting psychiatric evaluation for Mrs. Ashford, claiming parental alienation. Mr. Ashford is prepared for a long custody battle. Bring it, Bryn said. We have evidence your client is an abusive criminal. We have 8 women who will testify to his infidelity. We have financial records proving fraud. Tell Mr. Ashford that if he wants a custody battle, we'll make sure every ugly detail becomes public record. The lawyer sputtered. You can't. Watch us, Bryn said, and hung up. Harper felt dizzy. Her hands shook. The baby kicked frantically, sensing her distress. He's going to make this hell, Harper said. He's going to drag this out, use the baby as a weapon, make me fight for her. Yes, Bryn agreed. That's exactly what he's going to do. Because that's what abusers do when they lose control. They escalate. They threaten. They use whatever leverage they have. So what do I do? You rest, Bryn said firmly. You take care of yourself and your baby. You let me handle Derek. That's what you pay me for. But Harper couldn't rest. Every time she closed her eyes, she imagined Derek taking her baby, imagined supervised visitation. Imagined her daughter spending weekends with a man who hit women. That evening, a news van parked outside the estate gates. Then another. By nightfall, there were 6. Reporters shouting questions every time someone entered or left. Asterisk, how does it feel to be abused by a millionaire? Did you know about the fraud? Why did you stay with him? Graham had security move them back, but they didn't leave. The story was too good, too juicy. Rich husband beats pregnant wife. Father destroys husband's empire in revenge. It had everything. Harper watched from her bedroom window, the cameras, the reporters, the circus her life had become. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her look. A video message. She pressed play. Derek's face filled the screen. He looked terrible, unshaven, red eyes. Behind him, a cheap motel room. Harper, Derek said. His voice was thick, drunk, or crying, or both. I know you're watching this. I know your father is too. Listen to me. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I know that now. But I'm your husband. That baby is mine. You can't just take her away. Derek leaned closer to the camera. I will fight for my daughter. I will use everything I have, every resource, every connection. You think you've won? You've won nothing. This is just beginning. The video ended. Harper's hand shook so hard she dropped the phone. Her breath came in gasps. Panic attack. She knew the signs, had learned them over 3 years of marriage. Eleanor rushed in. Harper, breathe. Look at me, breathe. Harper focused on her mother's face. Counted breaths. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. Slowly the panic receded. Harper's heartbeat slowed. The room stopped spinning. He sent a video, Harper managed. Threatening me. Threatening to take the baby. Eleanor picked up the phone, watched the video. Her expression darkened. I'm calling Marcus. This is harassment. Witness intimidation. Derek just gave us more evidence. But evidence didn't make Harper feel safer. Didn't stop the fear. Didn't answer the question that haunted her. What if Derek won? What if somehow, despite everything, he found a way to take her daughter? Harper put both hands on her belly. The baby was quiet now, exhausted from all the activity, or maybe sensing her mother needed stillness. I won't let him take you, Harper whispered. I promise. Whatever it takes, however long this lasts, I will protect you. Outside, the reporters continued their vigil. Inside, Harper's family built their defenses. And somewhere in a cheap motel, Derek Ashford planned his next move. The countdown continued. 36 hours left. And none of them knew what would happen when it reached 0. Morning arrived with federal marshals at Derek's motel door. They knocked hard, official, undeniable. Derek Ashford. Open up, federal warrant. Derek had been awake all night, drinking cheap vodka, making plans, sending increasingly unhinged text messages to Harper that she never answered. He was unraveling fast. He opened the door. 3 marshals. Serious faces. Body armor. This was real. Derek Ashford, we have a warrant to search this premises and seize any electronic devices or financial documents in your possession. Derek's laptop. His phone, his backup hard drive all gone. Carried away in evidence bags. Your accounts have been frozen by order of the federal court, the lead marshal continued. All properties registered in your name are under seizure. Your vehicle has been impounded. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Derek understood. He had nothing. Less than nothing. $5,000 in his checking account. The clothes on his back. A motel room he couldn't afford past tonight. I need to call my lawyer, Derek said. You're welcome to do that, the marshal replied. Here's your copy of the warrant. We'll be in touch. They left. Derek sat on the stained motel bedspread and tried to process what had just happened. How had things collapsed so completely? 72 hours ago, he was a millionaire, respected businessman. Now he was broke and facing federal charges. All because he slapped Harper. One moment. One mistake. Everything gone. Derek's phone buzzed. Text from his mother. Asterisk, I'm not sending money. Don't ask again. Asterisk, his business partner Trevor had ghosted him completely. His friends stopped answering calls. Even his lawyer had bailed. Derek was alone. He walked to the motel window, looked out at the parking lot. His BMW was gone, impounded. He would have to take the bus. The fucking bus. Like a nobody. Meanwhile, across the city at the Whitmore estate, different conversations were happening. Marcus sat with Graham in the study. Trevor Hayes contacted me. He wants immunity. For what? Graham asked. He knew about Derek's fraud. Not all the details, but enough. He looked the other way because the company was profitable. Now he's willing to testify against Derek in exchange for not being charged as an accessory. Do we need his testimony? It would help, Marcus admitted. Trevor has access to records we don't. Meetings he attended, conversations he witnessed. His testimony could put Derek away for 10 years instead of 5. Then give him immunity, Graham said. I want Derek buried. Legally, financially, completely. Marcus made the call. Trevor would cooperate fully. In exchange, he walked away clean, kept the company, kept his reputation, left Derek to face the consequences alone. That afternoon, Greg of the family in the living room. Harper in a wheelchair, now doctor's orders. No walking except to the bathroom. Complete bed rest until the baby came. I want to talk about the restitution fund, Graham said. We've identified 23 families direct defrauded. Total stolen, $14 million. I'm establishing a fund that will pay back every penny. With interest. That's $20 million, Eleanor said. I'm aware, Graham replied. Consider it an investment in justice. Harper looked at her father. You're doing this for me? I'm doing this because it's right, Graham corrected. Derek stole from people who trusted him. Some of them lost everything. I have the resources to make them whole, so I will. Marcus pulled up files on his laptop. Each family gets a detailed accounting. Where their money went, how it was used. Full transparency. No secrets. Bryn reviewed legal documents. This protects Harper too. If she's seen as part of the solution, not part of the problem, it undermines any claim that she benefited from Derek's fraud. I never benefited, Harper said. I didn't even know. Doesn't matter, Bryn explained. In fraud cases, spouses can be held liable even if they didn't know, even if they didn't participate. Community property laws are complicated. This fund protects you legally. Harper felt the weight of that. She could have been charged. Could have faced prison. All for crime she didn't commit, didn't know about, couldn't have stopped. I want to meet them, Harper said. The victims. In person. Harper, you're on bed rest, Eleanor protested. Then bring them here, please. I need them to see my face, hear my story. No, I'm not the enemy. Marcus made arrangements. 2 days later, John and Martha Peterson arrived at the Whitmore estate. The elderly couple who lost their retirement $400,000. 40 years of savings gone. They sat in the living room. Martha held her husband's hand. Both looked exhausted, defeated, old. Harper met them from her wheelchair, 6 months pregnant. Bruises still visible on her face. The mark of Derek's hand fading but undeniable. Thank you for coming, Harper said. Mrs. Ashford, John began. Whitmore, Harper corrected. I've reclaimed my maiden name. I'm not Mrs. Ashford anymore. Martha studied Harper's face, the bruises, the wheelchair, the pregnant belly. Understanding dawned. He hurt you too? Martha said softly. Yes, Harper said. Not the same way he hurt you, but yes. I'm a victim of Derek's abuse, just like you're victims of his fraud. John's expression softened. We assumed you knew. That you were part of it. I understand, Harper said. I would have assumed the same thing. But I had no knowledge of his business. No access to accounts. Derek kept me completely separate, controlled, isolated. Harper took a breath. My father is repaying everything Derek stole from you. With interest. You'll receive a check this week. $450,000. Martha's eyes filled with tears. We can't, that's too much. It's not enough, Harper said. Money can't replace what Derek took from you, the security, the peace of mind, the trust. But it's what I can give. What my family can give. Please accept it. John wiped his eyes. Thank you. We'd given up hope. Thought it was all gone forever. It's not gone, Harper said. And Derek will face consequences. Federal charges, prison. He'll pay for what he did to you. To everyone. The Petersons stayed for an hour. By the end, they weren't victims and perpetrator's wife. They were people connected by shared pain, by Derek's damage, by the long road to recovery. After they left, Harper felt something shift. This wasn't just about her anymore. Wasn't just about escaping an abusive marriage. It was bigger. 23 families. Countless lives affected. A ripple of damage that extended far beyond her. That evening, Marcus had more news. Trevor testified before the grand jury today. They indicted Derek on 17 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of securities fraud, 2 counts of money laundering. If convicted on all charges, he's looking at 15 to 25 years. Will he be convicted? Graham asked. Almost certainly, Marcus said. Trevor's testimony is damning. We have paper trails, bank records, investor statements. The evidence is overwhelming. We're here, Bryn added her own update. The criminal charges for domestic violence are also moving forward. We have medical evidence, photographs, witness testimony. The DA is confident. How long until trial? Harper asked. Probably a year, Bryn said. Criminal trials take time, especially federal cases. Derek's attorney will file motions, request delays, try to negotiate a plea deal. It'll drag out. Harper put her hand on her belly. Her daughter kicked, strong, healthy, unaware of the legal battles being waged on her behalf. A year, Harper said. My daughter will be 9 months old before this goes to trial. She never know a time when her father wasn't being prosecuted. Is that a problem? Eleanor asked gently. Harper, is that a problem? Harper thought about it. No, it's honest. I don't want her growing up with lies. I want her to know the truth. That her father hurt people. That actions have consequences. That women don't have to accept abuse. Night fell. Harper sat in her room, painting nursery furniture. Slow strokes. Lavender paint. One small piece at a time. Reclaiming space. Creating something beautiful for her daughter. This was breathing room after the storm. Quiet work, meditative. Harper needed this. Needed to create, instead of just surviving. The paintbrush moved steadily. Each stroke covered more of the white primer, transformed it into something softer, more hopeful. Harper thought about her father's lesson. True power wasn't hurting people who hurt you. It was making sure they couldn't hurt anyone else. Graham hadn't destroyed Derek out of revenge. He'd done it to protect, not just Harper, but the next woman Derek might target, the next investors he might defraud, the next victims who didn't have a powerful family to defend them. This was justice. Real justice. Not vengeance. Harper finished painting the small dresser, stood back to admire her work. The lavender was perfect soft but not babyish. Her daughter's room would be a sanctuary, safe, calm, full of love. Derek had tried to control even this. Insisted the nursery be neutral colors, no pink, no lavender, nothing too feminine. He wanted a son, made that clear. But Harper was having a daughter. And that daughter's room would be exactly what Harper wanted. Derek's opinion didn't matter anymore. Harper heard Marcus's voice drifting up from downstairs. Confirmed. Derek tried to access his offshore accounts. Couldn't. Everything's frozen. He's sleeping in his car now. Lost the motel room. Graham's response was quieter, but Harper caught it. Good, let him feel powerless. Let him understand what he put my daughter through. Harper should have felt satisfaction. Victory. Derek was destroyed, broke, homeless, facing decades in prison. Instead, she felt empty, tired, ready for this chapter to close. She wanted to move forward, build a life for her daughter, be a mother, be safe. But she was still trapped in this moment, still tied to Derek through legal proceedings, still waiting for resolution that might take years. Harper touched her belly. I'm sorry this is taking so long, baby girl, she whispered. I'm sorry you're being born into chaos. But I promise, by the time you're old enough to understand, it'll be over. You'll be safe. We'll be free. The baby kicked in response. Harper smiled. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, more legal documents, more court dates, more evidence of Derek's crimes. But tonight, Harper just painted furniture and planned her daughter's future, one lavender brush stroke at a time. The morning of the 36th hour brought Derek's desperate final play. His new attorney, a man with a cheap suit and cheaper morals, filed an emergency custody motion. Custody? Bryn's voice rose an octave on the phone. The man is broke, homeless, and facing federal charges. On what grounds? Harper listened on speakerphone from her bed. Dr. Sterling had been clear, complete bed rest. Any stress could trigger early labor. They're claiming Harper is mentally unstable, Bryn explained. That her family has brainwashed her, that Derek is the victim of a wealthy family's vendetta. They want psychological evaluation, supervised visitation, shared custody after birth. Harper's hands clenched. He's using my baby as a weapon. Yes, Bryn agreed. And it gets worse. TMZ just published an article, Millionaire to seek full custody. After wife's family destroys his life, they're painting Derek as the victim. Eleanor brought Harper her laptop. The TMZ headline screamed in bold font. Below it, a statement from Derek's attorney, asterisk, my client is a loving father-to-be, who made one terrible mistake. Mrs. Whitmore's family has systematically destroyed his career, his finances, and his reputation. Mr. Ashford fears for his daughter's safety in a household that promotes such vindictive behavior. Asterisk Harper read it twice, then slammed the laptop shut. He's rewriting history, making himself the victim, making me the villain. The public isn't buying it, Marcus said, entering the room with his own laptop. Look at the comments. Social media. People see through it. Marcus showed her Twitter. The responses to TMZ's article were overwhelmingly in Harper's favor. Asterisk, he hits his pregnant wife in public, and now he's the victim? Please, bomb this man as an abuser and a fraud. Lock him up. Harper Whitmore is a hero for leaving. Derek Ashford is a monster. Asterisk. Good, Graham said grimly. Let public opinion bury him before the trial even starts. But Harper felt sick. This was exactly what she feared. Years of legal battles. Derek using their daughter as leverage. Court dates and custody evaluations and supervised visitation. I need air, Harper said. Eleanor helped her into the wheelchair. They went out to the garden. The roses were in full bloom now. The May weather was perfect, 70 degrees, light breeze. Everything beautiful. But Harper couldn't see the beauty. All she saw was the fight ahead. The years of dealing with Derek. The possibility, however small, that he might get partial custody. What if he wins? Harper asked her mother. He won't, Eleanor said firmly. But what if he does? What if some judge decides my daughter needs her father? What if I have to hand her over every other weekend, watch her go with a man who hits women? Eleanor knelt beside the wheelchair, took Harper's hands. Then we fight, Eleanor said. We document everything. Every missed payment, every broken promise, every supervised visit where he shows up drunk or high or not at all. We build a case. We prove he's unfit. And we protect your daughter. Whatever it takes. I'm so tired, Harper whispered. I know, sweetheart. I know. They sat in the garden for a long time, the sun warm, the roses fragrant, mother and daughter in silence. Finally, Harper spoke. I need to prepare for his deposition. I need to practice my testimony. If this is going to court, I want to be ready. Back inside, Bryn set up a mock courtroom in the living room. She played Derek's attorney hostile, aggressive, accusing. Mrs. Whitmore, isn't it true that you come from extreme wealth? Asterisk, yes. Isn't it true that your father controls a Fortune 500 company? Yes. Isn't it true that your father has the resources to destroy anyone who crosses him? Harper paused. This was the trap. Agree, and Derek looks like a victim. Disagree, and she looks like she's lying. My father has resources, Harper said carefully. He used those resources to protect me from an abusive husband and to repay the people my husband defrauded. That's not vengeance. That's justice, Bryn nodded. Good. Calm. Factual. Don't get defensive. Just state the truth. They ran through scenarios for hours. Every possible question, every accusation, every attempt to paint Harper as mentally unstable or vindictive. By late afternoon, Harper's voice was hoarse, but she felt stronger, more prepared. One more thing, Bryn said. Derek's attorney will try to trigger you, make you emotional, angry, confused. They want you to look unstable on the stand. You need to stay calm no matter what they say. How? Harper asked. Practice breathing. Focus on facts, not feelings. And remember, the truth is on your side. You don't have to defend your decision to leave. You don't have to justify protecting your daughter. Those things are self-evidently right. That evening, as sunset painted the bay in shades of gold and pink, Harper stood at her window, not in a wheelchair now. Dr. Sterling had allowed short periods of standing, 5 minutes at a time. Harper put her hand on her belly. The baby was active, dancing, hiccuping, alive. Starting over feels impossible, Harper whispered. But staying feels worse. One choose impossible. Her mother was right. This was the validation whisper she needed, the truth that anchored her. Starting over was terrifying. Being a single mother, co-parenting with an abuser, fighting legal battles while raising a baby, all of it felt impossible. But staying married to Derek, living in fear, teaching her daughter that love meant pain, that was worse than impossible. That was soul-destroying. Harper chose impossible. Every single time. A knock on the door. Graham entered. I have something for you, he said. He handed Harper a folder. Inside were property listings. Apartments, condos, small houses. All modest by Whitmore standards. All affordable without family money. I know you want independence, Graham said. I know you don't want to rely on family wealth. These are properties you could afford with a normal job, normal salary, if that's what you want. Harper looked through the listings. A 2-bedroom condo in Oakland, a small house in Barkley, an apartment near the Mission District. All cute, all perfect for a single mother and baby. I'm applying for jobs, Harper said. At nonprofits, domestic violence shelters, places where I can use my story to help other women. Graham smiled. I think that's perfect. You're not disappointed? Harper asked. That I don't want to work for Whitmore Industries? Take over the family business? Harper, I've spent 40 years building an empire. You know what I learned? Success means nothing if the people you love are hurting. You could run a Fortune 500 company, or you could help women escape abusive marriages. Both are valuable. One just happens to need you more. Harper hugged her father. Thank you for destroying Derek's life. Graham laughed. You're welcome. Though technically, Derek destroyed his own life. We just accelerated the timeline. That night, Marcus arrived with final updates. Derek's custody motion was denied. The judge called it frivolous, noted that a man facing federal fraud charges and criminal assault charges is not in a position to seek custody of anyone. So he has no claim to her? Harper asked. Not zero, Bryn cautioned. Family court is unpredictable. But right now, with his criminal case pending, no judge will force visitation. You're safe. Harper felt something unclench in her chest. Her daughter was safe. For now, maybe not forever, but for now. There's more, Marcus continued. The victim restitution fund is complete. All 23 families have been contacted. All payments are being processed. By next week, everyone will be made whole. What about the criminal trial? Graham asked. Federal prosecutor is confident. They're offering Derek a plea deal, 7 years, no trial. He just has to plead guilty. Will he take it? Eleanor asked. Unknown, Marcus said. His attorney is advising him to take it. 7 years is better than 25. But Derek's ego might not let him. Harper thought about that. 7 years. Her daughter would be in 2nd grade before Derek got out. Old enough to understand. Old enough to ask questions. Or Derek could go to trial, risk 25 years. Her daughter would be an adult before he was released. Either way, Harper had time. Years to build a life, establish safety, create distance. I want him to take the deal, Harper said. I don't want a trial, don't want to testify. Don't want to spend years reliving this. I want to move on. You might not get a choice, Bryn said gently. If Derek refuses the plea deal, you'll have to testify. For the fraud case and the assault case. Your testimony is crucial to both. Harper closed her eyes. Of course. Of course she couldn't just walk away. The justice system needed her. The victims needed her. Her own daughter needed her to be strong enough to face Derek in court. Then I'll testify, Harper said. If that's what it takes, I'll do it. The room was quiet. Everyone knew what Harper was agreeing to. Hours on the witness stand, Derek's attorney attacking her credibility, her character, her sanity. Public spectacle. Media circus. Years of her life devoted to proving what 500 witnesses already saw. But Harper would do it. Because that's what mothers did. They protected their children, no matter the cost. Let's hope it doesn't come to that, Graham said. Let's hope Derek takes the plea deal and saves everyone the trouble. But Harper knew better. She knew Derek, knew his ego, his need to be right, his inability to accept responsibility. Derek would go to trial. He would make this as difficult as possible. Because that's what abusers did. They couldn't win, so they made sure everyone lost. Harper put her hand on her belly. The baby was quiet now, sleeping maybe or just listening. I'm sorry, Harper whispered. I'm sorry your father is making this so hard. But I promise when it's over, you'll be safe, we'll be free. And you'll never have to be afraid. The countdown had started at 48 hours. Now they were at 36.12 more hours until something happened. Something Graham had planned. Something Marcus had set in motion. Harper didn't know what, but she trusted her father. Trusted Marcus. Trusted that whatever was coming, it would be justice. Not revenge, justice. There was a difference, not so. The 48th hour arrived with a phone call from Marcus. It's time. Everything's in place. Are you ready? Harper sat in her wheelchair, dressed carefully in a navy blue dress that accommodated her pregnant belly. Professional but soft, strong but approachable. She had practiced her statement for hours. Now it was time to deliver it. Where? Harper asked. Rosewood Grand Ballroom, Marcus said. Where it started, where we end it. Harper's heart raced. You want me to go back there? I want you to reclaim that space, Graham said. He entered the room with Eleanor and Bryn. Derek humiliated you there, made you a victim in front of 500 witnesses. Now you walk in as a survivor, as a woman who fought back. You reclaim your power in the place he tried to take it. Harper looked at her mother. Eleanor nodded. You can do this, sweetheart. We'll all be there. They drove to the Rosewood Hotel. The same grand entrance, the same marble floors, but everything felt different. Harper wasn't sneaking out the service entrance anymore. She was walking in the front door, head high, cameras ready. The ballroom had been set up for a press conference, a podium, microphones, rows of chairs for reporters, at least 50 cameras. Harper's stomach churned. This was real. This was public. This was the moment she stopped hiding. Marcus had arranged everything. The reporters were vetted, the questions pre-screened. Harper would read her statement, take a few questions, then leave. 30 minutes. She could survive 30 minutes. Graham wheeled Harper to the podium. The cameras flashed. The reporters stood. Harper took a breath. This was it. The moment she told her truth. Not Derek's version. Not his attorney's spin. Her truth. Harper looked out at the crowd. Some faces were sympathetic, some skeptical, some just hungry for a story. She began. My name is Harper Whitmore. 48 hours ago, my husband Derek Ashford assaulted me in this room in front of 500 witnesses. I was 6 months pregnant. I had done nothing wrong. He hit me because I mentioned a comment his mother made about our nursery colors. The room was silent, only the click of cameras. That wasn't the first time Derek hit me. It was just the first public time. Derek has been physically and emotionally abusing me for 3 years, since our wedding night. I stayed because I was ashamed, because I thought I could fix him, because I believed his promises that it would never happen again. Harper's voice grew stronger, clearer. I'm not ashamed anymore. Being abused is not shameful. Staying in an abusive marriage does not make me weak. Loving someone who hurts me does not make me stupid. What's shameful is the person who hurts someone they promised to love. What's weak is hitting a pregnant woman. What's stupid is thinking you can do it in front of witnesses and face no consequences. Reporters scribbled notes. Camera zoomed in. In the last 48 hours, my family has learned that Derek's abuse extended beyond our marriage. He defrauded 23 families of $14 million. He ran a Ponzi scheme, stole retirement funds from elderly couples, destroyed lives for personal profit. Harper paused, let that sink in. My father has established a restitution fund. Every family Derek defrauded will be repaid in full. With interest. They will be made whole. But money cannot undo the damage. Cannot restore the trust Derek destroyed. Harper looked directly at the cameras. Derek Ashford is not a victim. He is not being targeted by my wealthy family. He is facing consequences for his choices, his crimes, his abuse. I am reclaiming my voice, my safety, my daughter's future. I am no longer Derek Ashford's wife. I am Harper Whitmore. I am a survivor. And I am not alone. The room erupted in questions. Harper fielded them carefully. Bryn had prepared her well. Will you testify at his trial? Yes, if necessary. I will testify to everything I experienced. Do you regret marrying him? I regret that he chose violence over love. But I don't regret the lesson. I'm stronger for having survived. What message do you have for other abuse victims? Harper's eyes filled with tears. This question mattered most. You are not crazy. The abuse is real. It's not your fault. And leaving, even when it feels impossible, is always the right choice. I know it's terrifying. I know you might not have the resources I have. But there are people who will help. Shelters, hotlines, organizations that exist to protect you. You deserve safety. You deserve love that doesn't hurt. Please reach out. Please leave. Your life matters. The press conference lasted exactly 30 minutes. Then Marcus stepped in. That's all. Thank you. Harper was wheeled out through the same entrance she'd fled through 48 hours ago. But this time, the exit was different. She wasn't running. She was walking away with power, with dignity, with her head high. Outside, the afternoon sun was bright. Harper blinked against it. The last 48 hours felt surreal, like living someone else's life. But it was her life. Her story. Her survival. You did beautifully, Eleanor said. I'm proud of you, Graham added. Bryn squeezed her hand. You're going to save lives with that statement. Women who are too scared to leave, you just showed them it's possible. They drove back to the estate. Harper was exhausted, emotionally drained, but also lighter. The truth was out there now, public. Undeniable. Derek couldn't rewrite history when millions of people heard Harper's version directly from her. As they pulled up to the estate, Marcus's phone buzzed. He listened. His expression shifted. Satisfaction. "Derek's been arrested," Marcus said. "Federal agents picked him up 20 minutes ago. 17 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of securities fraud, 2 counts of money laundering. He's in custody." Harper closed her eyes. It was over. Really, truly over. Where did they arrest him? Graham asked. "Rosewood Hotel," Marcus said. He showed up at the press conference, tried to force his way in, wanted to confront Harper on camera. Security stopped him, called the police. Federal agents were already waiting. He was there? Harper's voice shook. "While I was speaking. Outside. Couldn't get in. But yes, he tried." Harper processed that. Derek had been feet away while she told the world about his abuse. While she reclaimed her power. While she transformed from victim to survivor. Maybe that was fitting. Maybe he needed to hear it. Needed to know he hadn't broken her. That evening, the video of Harper's press conference went viral. 3 million views in 4 hours. Then 5 million. Then 10. Hashtag Harper Whitmore trended nationally. Comments poured in. "She's so brave. This is what courage looks like. Asterisk. Every woman who survived abuse just felt seen. Asterisk. Derek Ashford better never see daylight again." Harper didn't read the comments. Didn't watch the video of herself. It was too raw, too fresh. She needed distance. Instead, she sat in the nursery. The lavender walls were finished. The furniture painted. Ready for her daughter. Ready for their new life. Harper touched her belly. The baby kicked. Strong. Healthy. Alive. "We did it," Harper whispered. "We survived. We're free. Not completely free. There would be court dates, testimony, years of legal proceedings. But the crisis was over. The immediate danger had passed. Derek was in custody, facing decades in prison, unable to hurt anyone else. That night, Harper slept deeply for the first time in years. No nightmares. No panic. Just exhaustion and relief. She woke to sunlight streaming through her window. May morning. Birds singing. Everything bright and new. Her phone showed dozens of messages, support, encouragement. Women sharing their own stories, thanking Harper for speaking out, for making them feel less alone. Harper read them all. Every single one. Each message a reminder that her pain had purpose, her survival mattered, her story could help others. Bryn called mid-morning. "The Dea wants to meet. They're offering Derek a plea deal. 7 years for the fraud charges, 5 years for the assault charge. Concurrent sentences. He'd serve 7 total. What if he says no?" Harper asked. "Then we go to trial. You testify. We put him away for 25 years. What do you think he'll do?" Bryn was quiet for a moment. "Honestly, I think his ego won't let him plead guilty. I think he'll go to trial, try to prove he's innocent, blame everyone else. So I'm testifying," Harper said. "Probably," Harper nodded. She was ready. Scared, but ready. The baby kicked. Harper smiled. Her daughter would be born in 3 months. By then, Derek's trial would be scheduled. The media circus would be in full swing. But Harper would be ready. She'd survived the last 48 hours. She could survive anything. 3 months passed in a blur of preparation. Harper moved into a small house in Oakland. 2 bedrooms, modest, hers, no family money. No trust fund. Just a rental she could afford with the pay she'd accepted at a domestic violence non-profit she would start after maternity leave. But for now, she focused on the baby. On building a life. On healing. The nursery in her new house was perfect. Lavender walls. White furniture. Soft lighting. A rocking chair by the window where Harper could feed her daughter and watch the sunrise. Graham and Eleanor visited often, brought furniture, stocked the fridge, assembled the crib. But they respected Harper's independence. This was her home. Her choices. Her life. Derek's trial was scheduled for October, 5 months away. The plea deal had been rejected, just as Bryn predicted. Derek insisted he was innocent, claimed he was framed, blamed Graham for destroying evidence. No one believed him, but the trial would happen anyway. Harper would testify. The victims would testify. Trevor would testify. Derek would be convicted. It was a formality at this point. But first, there was someone more important to meet. Harper went into labor on a Tuesday morning, August 15th. Early, unexpected, terrifying and exhilarating. Eleanor drove her to Mercy General. Dr. Sterling was ready. The delivery room was calm, quiet. Just Harper, her mother, and Bryn, the 3 women who had been with her through everything. Labor lasted 6 hours. Long but not terrible. Harper breathed through contractions, focused on the goal. Her daughter. The reason for everything. At 3:47 p.m., Evelyn Grace Whitmore was born. 6 pounds, 8 ounces. 18 inches, perfect. Dr. Sterling placed her on Harper's chest, skin to skin. The baby's eyes opened. Dark and wise and brand new. Harper looked at her daughter and felt everything shift. This was love. Pure, unconditional, transformative. "Hi, baby girl," Harper whispered. "I'm your mama. I've been waiting to meet you." Evelyn made a small noise, not quite a cry, just acknowledgement. Like she knew her mother's voice, recognized her from months of conversation through skin and blood. Eleanor cried. Bryn cried. Harper cried. The 3 of them laughing and sobbing and marveling at this perfect, tiny human. "She's beautiful," Eleanor said. "She looks like you," Bryn added. Harper studied Evelyn's face. Her daughter. Her reason. Her future. "You'll never know anything but love and safety," Harper promised. "I swear it." The hospital staff gave them privacy. Harper held Evelyn for hours, memorizing every detail. The tiny fingers, the soft dark hair, the way she made little faces while sleeping. Graham arrived that evening. Walked into the room and stopped. Just stared at his granddaughter with wonder. "She's perfect," Graham said. "Want to hold her?" Harper asked. Graham sat carefully. Harper placed Evelyn in his arms. The powerful CEO who commanded boardrooms and destroyed enemies looked suddenly vulnerable, tender. A grandfather meeting his granddaughter for the first time. "Hello, Evelyn," Graham whispered. "I'm your grandfather. And I promise you'll grow up safe, loved, free." Evelyn yawned, stretched, settled into Graham's arms like she belonged there. Harper watched her father with her daughter and felt the circle complete. 3 generations. Each one stronger than the last. Each one breaking cycles and building new patterns. That night, after everyone left, Harper sat alone with Evelyn. The hospital room was quiet. Just mother and daughter in the soft glow of the bedside lamp. "Your father isn't here," Harper said softly. "He's in jail, awaiting trial. I'm sorry for that. Sorry you won't have the family I wanted to give you. But I promise, you have me. You have your grandparents. You have Bryn. You have so many people who love you already." Evelyn slept peacefully, unbothered, safe. Harper thought about Derek, wondered if he knew he had a daughter. If anyone had told him. If he cared. The answer didn't matter. Derek had made his choices. Now Harper was making hers. 6 weeks after Evelyn's birth, Harper returned to the domestic violence nonprofit, part-time at first, bringing Evelyn to work in a carrier, building flexibility into her schedule. She worked with women leaving abusive relationships, helped them navigate legal systems, find housing, access resources, build safety plans. Every woman Harper helped, she saw herself, the fear, the shame, the desperate hope that leaving was possible. "It's possible," Harper told them. "I promise. It's terrifying, but it's possible. And you're stronger than you think." One afternoon, a young woman came in, 23 years old, pregnant, bruises on her arms. The haunted look Harper recognized instantly. "My boyfriend says I'm crazy," the young woman said. "That I'm too sensitive, that I make him angry." "Is that true? Am I crazy?" Harper took her hand. "You're not crazy. The abuse is real. It's not your fault. And you deserve better," the young woman cried. Harper held her, let her break, let her feel, then helped her build a plan, shelter, restraining order, legal aid, support group. Watching her walk out with hope in her eyes, Harper felt it. Purpose, meaning. Her pain had created something valuable. Her survival could help others survive. 5 months after Evelyn's birth, Derek's trial began. Federal courthouse, downtown San Francisco. Media circus outside. Cameras everywhere. Harper arrived with Bryn, Evelyn with her grandmother for the day. Harper wore a Navy suit, professional, serious, ready. She sat through opening statements, listened to the prosecution lay out Derek's crimes. 17 counts of fraud, money laundering, wire fraud. The evidence was overwhelming. Derek sat at the defense table, thin, gaunt. Prison had not been kind. His expensive suit hung loose. His hair was graying. He looked older, broken. Their eyes met across the courtroom. Derek's expression shifted: pain, regret, anger, a swirl of emotions Harper couldn't read. She looked away. He didn't matter anymore. This wasn't about him. It was about justice for his victims, closure for the families he'd hurt. Harper testified on day 3. Bryn had prepared her well. She stayed calm, factual, didn't get emotional, even when Derek's attorney tried to rattle her. Isn't it true you come from extreme wealth? Yes. Isn't it true your father destroyed my client's business? My father protected me from an abusive husband and repaid the people your client defrauded. That's not destruction. That's justice. Isn't it true you're bitter about your failed marriage? I'm not bitter. I'm relieved. There's a difference. The attorney tried every angle, painted Harper as vindictive, claimed she and Graham conspired to frame Derek, suggested the abuse was exaggerated. Harper stayed steady, answered every question, let the truth speak for itself. When she stepped down from the witness stand, she felt lighter. The hardest part was over. She'd faced Derek in court, told her truth, survived. The trial lasted 3 weeks. 23 victims testified. Trevor testified. Forensic accountants testified. The evidence was damning. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. To be honest, returned with a verdict: guilty. All counts. Derek showed no emotion. Just sat there, staring straight ahead, accepting his fate. Sentencing came 2 weeks later. The judge was a woman in her 60s, no nonsense. She'd clearly read every page of evidence. Mr. Ashford, you betrayed the trust of 23 families, stole their life savings, destroyed their financial security, and when your pregnant wife tried to discuss something as trivial as nursery colors, you assaulted her in public. You have shown no remorse, no accountability, no recognition of the harm you have caused. The judge paused, looked directly at Derek. I am sentencing you to 20 years in federal prison for the fraud charges, 5 years for assault, to run concurrently. You will serve a minimum of 17 years before being eligible for parole. You will pay full restitution to all victims. And you will have no contact with Harper Whitmore or her daughter ever. 20 years. Derek would be 58 when he got out. Evelyn would be 17, nearly an adult. Harper felt the weight lift. It was done, really, truly done. She walked out of the courthouse with Bryn. The reporters shouted questions. Harper ignored them. She had nothing more to say. Her statement had been made, her testimony given. This chapter was closed. 1 year after the slap heard around the world, Harper stood in the Rosewood Grand Ballroom again. But this time, it was her event. The Whitmore Foundation Annual Gala for Domestic Violence Survivors, 200 guests. All donors, advocates, survivors. People committed to ending this cycle of abuse. Harper stood at the podium, Evelyn on her hip, 10 months old now, bright-eyed, curious, unafraid. Thank you all for coming, Harper said. 1 year ago, this room was the site of my public humiliation. Tonight, it's a celebration of survival, of strength, of the community that lifts women up when abusers try to tear them down. Applause filled the ballroom. Harper looked around at the faces. Some she knew, some strangers, all connected by shared purpose. This foundation exists because abuse thrives in silence. Because victims are told to be ashamed, to stay quiet, to protect their abusers. I'm done with silence. I'm done with shame. And I hope, by sharing my story, I've helped others find their voices too. More applause. Harper adjusted Evelyn on her hip. Her daughter grabbed her necklace, played with it, completely unconcerned with the crowd. My daughter will grow up knowing that her mother walked away from abuse. That we chose safety over comfort, freedom over fear. She learned that love doesn't hurt, that women don't have to make themselves smaller, that ending cycles takes courage, but it's always worth it. Harper looked down at Evelyn. And someday, when she's old enough to understand, I'll tell her the whole story. The good and the bad, the fear and the strength. Because truth matters, honesty matters. And my daughter deserves to know that her mother fought for both of us. The crowd rose to their feet. Standing ovation. Harper felt the emotion rise in her throat. This was her new life, her purpose. Using her pain to protect others. After the speeches, Harper mingled, talked to donors, thanked volunteers, met other survivors who shared their stories. One woman approached, late 40s, elegant, confident. I left my husband 6 months ago, the woman said. After seeing your press conference. I've been making excuses for 15 years. But watching you speak, I realized I deserve better. So I left, got a restraining order. Started divorce proceedings. My kids are safe now, we're rebuilding. And it's because you showed me it was possible. Harper hugged her. You did that. I just shared my story. You found your own strength. Maybe, the woman said. But sometimes we need to see someone else do it first before we believe we can too. The evening ended with Harper standing in the exact spot where Derek had slapped her. She held Evelyn in one arm, a champagne flute in the other hand. Bryn, Eleanor, and Graham stood beside her, her chosen family, her support, her safety net. A toast, Harper said. She raised her glass. Around her, 200 people raised theirs in return. To second chances, Harper said. To second chances, they echoed. The sound filled the ballroom. Hope, solidarity, survival. Harper looked at Evelyn. Her daughter's eyes were drooping, nearly asleep, safe in her mother's arms. She finally understood that the prison door had been unlocked all along. She'd been her own warden. But freedom? Freedom she'd had to fight for, claw for, bleed for. And that made it real, made it hers, made it worth everything. Derek was in prison now, would be for decades. His empire destroyed, his reputation ruined, his future limited. But Harper was free, building a life, raising her daughter, helping other women escape the trap she'd escaped. Not revenge, justice. There was a difference. And Harper finally understood it completely. As the guests began to leave, Harper walked to the window, the same window she'd looked out of a year ago while waiting for the gala to start, when she'd still believed her marriage could be saved, when she'd still made excuses for Derek's behavior. That woman felt like a stranger now. Someone Harper barely recognized. The woman standing at the window tonight was different. Harder, wiser, free. Harper's hand went to Evelyn's head. Protective, automatic, the way every mother's does. But this time, the danger was gone. This time she was free. Come on, sweet girl, Harper whispered to her sleeping daughter. Let's go home. She walked toward the exit, past the spot where Derek had hit her, past the silent auction table where it started, past the orchestra platform where everything changed. But Harper didn't look back, not once. The past was done. The future was waiting. And the sound of hope was louder than any slap could ever be. Harper's story didn't end that night in the ballroom. It's still unfolding. Still helping women find the courage to leave. Still proving that survival is possible. If this story resonated with you, if you know someone who needs to hear it, share it. Pass it forward. You never know who might need these words today. And if you want to hear more stories like this stories, of survival and strength and second chances, subscribe to this channel. Hit that like button if Harper's courage inspired you. Leave a comment sharing your thoughts, or just let me know you were here. Because every share, every like, every comment tells me that these stories matter, that truth matters, that survivors matter. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. And thank you for being part of a community that believes women deserve safety, respect, and love that doesn't hurt. Until next time, remember this. You are not alone. You are stronger than you think, and you deserve better. Take care of yourselves.